All right, I just wanted to remind everybody we're coming up on April the 19th, which is the anniversary of Waco, the Davidian massacre. And it was quite these guys are like standing in front of the Waco as if they accomplished some great thing when they killed all those children. They were real tough guys, standing on top of their tanks and shooting into buildings filled with children. Real tough guys. But anyway, I just wanted to remind you of that. I think April the 19th is also the Oklahoma City bombing and what else was it? Columbine shooting, and as well as it was something in the American Revolutionary War. So April 19th is a very important day. You know, a good Christian friend of mine, I shouldn't say he's a good Christian friend. He's an acquaintance, and I won't name his name. He'll know who he is if he listens. He wrote to me and he said, "We don't concern ourselves with idiotic attempts to change the world with social activism." I guess that was kind of trying to slap me in the face to say that, when I involve myself with the fact that we've got a usurper president who's put out a fraudulent birth certificate, it's not natural born, and when I speak up about that, it's an idiotic attempt with social activism. I just see any fight against injustice and tyranny and oppression as being righteous, and God would be pleased with that. And so, there are some Christians that don't involve themselves with politics or the fact that we've got a fraud, usurper, murdering liar, antichrist on the, red button commander-in-chief, claims to be president. He's an absolute, not a natural born citizen, not eligible. And I guess they don't feel led to talk about it or speak up about it. They just keep reading their Bible and talking about once saved, all. I love talking about those things too. I love to read my Bible, and I love to understand and rightly divide the word of truth, and talk about the 70 weeks of Daniel and the pause and the time of the Jacob's trouble. I love talking about all that stuff. But if you don't take what you learn in the Bible, Bible, basic instructions before leaving earth, and apply it to the real world. I had a preacher that once said, knowledge without application is a colossal waste of time. And that's what I think about these Christians who study their Bible, but they don't apply it to the real world. They don't get out and involve themselves in fighting injustice, fighting tyranny, fighting the slow, progressive propaganda of Satan to destroy the world that we live in. And I guess they think they're helpless in the physical realm, but I don't think that when we become children of God that we're helpless. I think that we're expected to fight not only in the physical but also the spiritual. I think we're expected to fight in both realms. But so that was a huge disagreement I have with my brother in Christ, and if he just wants to read his Bible and lock himself away and not talk about all of this crazy stuff that's going on, well, that's his business. I'm not going to say anything about it, but I think it's a colossal waste of time, because he's not applying the knowledge that he has learned when he reads the Bible. Anyway, I want to talk about a topic that I got into a discussion with some folks last night, and it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I thought it's worth bringing up. And I'm not saying I got all the answers. This is not me giving you answers. I'm just bringing up the topic so that we can talk about it. The topic came up of how do you know when something is of the Lord, and because we're getting to the point where it's very likely a lot of us are going to die. Let's just we need to be thinking about what are we willing to die for, right? And for me, this is like a 25 round clip, right? Goes in my 22 semi-automatic, holds 25 rounds. Now, if they made a law in Texas that said you can only have 20 round clips, not 25, and you got to turn all your clips in, well, then I wouldn't turn it in. And they say, well, we're going to come to your house and we're going to take it from you. Then my position on that is, well, I'm going to die for this 25 round clip, right? And you say, well, it's made in China. It's made out of plastic, and it's probably worth about $4, right? It's worth about $4. So you're saying you're willing to give your life up over a $4 piece of plastic? It's like, yeah, that's right. It's like, well, that's kind of stupid. It's like, you may think it's stupid. I don't think it's stupid. To me, it's the most sane thing in the world. I would die to be able to maintain the right to own firearms and 25-round clips. But that's not just that's not the only situation. There's a lot of situations that can develop. We were in a group, and one of the statements that was made is that freedom and liberty, and freedom from oppression and liberty, transgresses all religions. And I got to tell you, I'm really biased towards Christians. I'm just being upfront with you guys. I'm biased towards Christians. When somebody says the Muslims are in trouble, or it's like, I don't want anybody to be murdered or tortured or raped. I don't want that to happen to anybody. I really don't. But when Christians get in trouble, it's like, that's my brothers in Christ, man. I'm just being upfront and honest with you guys. It's like, that gets my attention. But I'll say that if I'm around in my neighborhood, or if I'm driving down the street, and let's say that someone is beating a Muslim over the head with a baseball bat, or they're treating a Muslim woman bad, I'm going to stand in and risk my life to try to stop it, even if I know that the person that's being victimized is Muslim. So in that regard, freedom from oppression and liberty transgresses all religions, and it really is a humanity thing, right? And so if I see somebody being beat or being treated unfairly, there's just a common core of liberty and freedom, I think, that's installed in basic humans. I'm willing to risk my life to try to stop it, even if that person's not a Christian. And I think that's biblical. So that point was made during our discussion. I was like, yeah, I can see that. If I'm living my life and I see my neighbor's house being broke in, even though I know my neighbor's a Mormon, like, I don't like Mormons, right? It's like, well, I'm going to try to, get the criminal out of his house. I'm going to try to do something about it, even if it puts my life in jeopardy. So that's one aspect to this idea of thinking about what you would die for. Another aspect is when somebody sends out a call for help. Let me give an example. If Pastor James David Manning, because I trust him and I may not agree with everything he says, but let me say this. Me and my wife and I don't even agree with each other 100% on everything. So there isn't one person in this world that I agree with 100%. But if I'm aware of a brother in Christ that needs help and they send out a call for help, and I know that they're of the Lord and they're being led by the Lord, I'm going to go help them, right? That's one situation. But it can get more complicated than that, because let's say, for example, let's say Jesse Ventura sent out a call for help. Well, Jesse Ventura is a known atheist. Jesse Ventura is an admitted atheist, and Jesse Ventura said that anyone that doesn't believe in evolution is an idiot. And so, just to be honest with you, I was like, I would have a hard time if Jesse Ventura sent out a call for help to go and fight with him, even though, if it's like if he was in a cause and he wanted it's like I can't go jump up and get excited about going helping atheists. I'm sorry that they're in trouble, and I know he's had trouble with the TSA. I'm not saying I wouldn't try to stop somebody from murdering him if I had the opportunity, but if he sent out a call for help and said, I need people to come stand with me, it's like, well, Jesse Ventura is not of God, right? He's an atheist. He believes in evolution. He's completely, he's wrong, right? So I'm just saying, as things go forward and as things progress, we got to seriously think about what types of situations are we going to risk our life for, and what types of situations do we think are not led by God. And we're like, well, that could be a trap, and I don't want to get involved in a situation where God is not the primary leading force, right? See, with Pastor James David Manning, I know that God would be the primary leading force, and so I would go and join him if he sent out a call for help. With just someone like Jesse Ventura, no, sorry. If there was some, I don't have all the answers, but I'm just saying we need to think about it, and we need to have thought about it before we get to the point, so that it's clear in our mind what God would want us to do. And so, if you guys have any comments or maybe some biblical direction on this, let me know what you guys have to say. But I think this is something that we need to be prepared for mentally and spiritually, and just be very well prepared for as we continue down this road. That's all I wanted to say for today. May God bless the righteous. May He protect and give encouragement to the righteous. And may He bring divine justice to the cowards and the wicked.